Comrade Bhimanda, the president of this meeting, Comrade Muhammad Salim, Comrade Shrideep, Comrade Dr. Ramayendra Dome, and other Central Committee members and leaders of our party seated here in the dais as well as in this auditorium. Comrade Bhimanda has already spoken to you about many important aspects of Comrade 𝒂𝒊𝒂𝒏𝒕 Shankaran Achyutanandan. Comrade V.S., whom made stellar contributions in building the working class movement, communist movement, and movement of the toiling masses, mostly in Kerala, then in other parts of the country also. He has been affectionately called by two syllables, V.S. After his almost complete life of 102 years, if he had lived up to October this year, he would have completed 102 years. Though we may say that he had a complete life, still it is unbearable that we are compelled to say a final Laal Salam to a comrade like V.S. So people were trying to understand the essence of Comrade V.S. We, those who speak Malayalam, we used to give an expansion to these two letters. There is a proper expansion of 𝒂𝒊𝒂𝒏𝒕 Shankaran, V.S. But we say Viramamillatta Samaram. I think Viramam is understood in Bengali also. Viramam is a stop. Viramamillatta means relentless, continuous. And Samaram is struggle, Sankarsh. So V.S. stands for relentless struggles. And this is not something we attribute. Those who know Comrade V.S., his entire life was different forms of struggles. Now, with his death, lot of people came to know about different aspects of his life, his childhood and all that. By virtue of he having served as the chief minister of the state, naturally media would go in search of details. Most of you might have come to know about certain aspects which, for the sake of record, when we meet here to pay homage to him, it won't be out of place to very briefly recall what was the times of his childhood. His birth was in 1923. That is for socialist revolution. He was born into a very poor working class family, because of the meager income from manual labor, from such a family, it was not natural that the parents think that our son should go to school. Generally, they would be trained, balavela, child labor. 4 years after his birth, his mother died. Then his father was trying to groom him. And father took him to school, local school. There, this young Achyutanandan, he had to encounter the upper caste, children coming from upper caste families. They could not tolerate someone socially excluded. He belonged to the so-called backward community. What is equivalent to the 𝑳𝒊𝒌𝒆 or 𝒃 community in Kerala, Bengal, I am not very sure about. But they were not allowed to walk through the public road.
Connected.
They didn't have the, though they are technically in the Hindu pantheon, they were not entitled to go to a temple. They could not even walk through the public road or roads near the temples. So why should he come to school to study? That is the question. And they used to physically attack him. The details of which he had later on narrated. So his father, he had some working class spirit. His father said that you should have friends, and if you are physically attacked, you should resist. So he had to encounter humiliation when he tried to go to school and learn something. But by the time when he reached the 7th standard, his father too died. Nature had been very cruel to him. At the age of 4, mother dies. While studying in the 7th standard, father dies. So, and a depressed, neglected, backward community, working class family. His brother was doing some manual labor in a tailoring shop. You know, now these days, mostly people buy ready-made shirts. Tailoring shops are very rare these days. Only people like 𝑺𝒉𝒂𝒏𝒕 would get the kurta stitched and all that. So, 12-year-old young Achyutanandan, he joined his elder brother who was working in a tailoring shop to learn how to cut the clothes, how to stitch and all that. Then this coir industry developed in Kerala during the same time. Some foreign people established Aspinwall Coir Company. Then he got a manual labor in Aspinwall Company. At the age of 16, he joined there. Then he joined the trade union. Trade union movement was in its childhood. Then Communist Party groups were being formed those days. And at the age of, when he was plus 17, he got Communist Party membership. Then a historical meeting takes place. You all know Comrade P. Krishnapilla. Comrade P. Krishnapilla is the Muzaffar Ahmad of Kerala, for you to understand. When the first unit of the Communist Party was set up in Kerala with Comrade 𝑺𝒉𝒂𝒏𝒕, attending from the Central Committee in Calicut. That was a secret meeting. Those were times of British rule, imperialist rule. Communists were hunted everywhere. 4 comrades assembled along with 𝑺𝒉𝒂𝒏𝒕. They were P. Krishnapilla, E.M.S. Namboodiripad, K. Damodaran, N.C. Shekhar. This being, and P. Krishnapilla was elected as the secretary of this first unit. I recall this in the context of paying homage to Comrade V.S. because this comrade P. Krishnapilla, who was secretary to EMS, Comrade Krishnapilla had almost a magical power. There is no magical power. Let me make it very clear. Let there be no confusion that CPM General Secretary spoke about magical power and all that. No magical power. But for us to understand a rare capacity to see through the character and caliber of a cadre. So, Comrade Krishnapilla, after having observed, he used to travel the length and breadth of not Kerala. Then there was no Kerala. It was Malabar, Kochi, Travancore. He used to pick up comrades and delegate authority. This is very important. Even today, we should understand that. Some comrades work very hard. They do everything. But they can share some work with others. They should delegate work. Krishnapilla would pick up comrades, train them, and give them the responsibility to work, develop party or various class and mass organizations. So here we should not just as part of history of Comrade V.S. Achuthanandan or Comrade Krishnapilla, as a lesson we should understand a very important development or a decision or an organizational decision. When Comrade V.S. Achuthanandan, as a young 17-year-old youth working, doing manual labor in a coir factory and getting some paltry, remuneration and supporting his home, this communist organizer, Comrade Krishnapilla, is not asking him whether you can be a whole-timer of the party. He is telling him, you leave your job, manual job in this factory, coir factory. Go to Kuttanadu. Vimanda mentioned about Kuttanadu, I know. Kuttanadu is the rice granary of Kerala. I don't want to go into this. Their landlords, they live like kings. In fact, in Malayalam, there is a term, Kayal Rajakkanmar. Kayal means backwater. Kings of the backwater. Say widely in Malayalam lexicon, this has a place, Kayal Rajakkanmar, kings of the backwater. And those who Khet Masdoor, agricultural laborers in Kuttanad area, their life was worse than that of slaves. If this backwater kings dislike somebody, they will kick them to death. Then in the paddy field, they will be buried. They say it is good manure. Just think about it. Just think about it. That was the condition. And these agricultural laborers worship this Kayal, these backwater kings like gods. Oh, they give us something. And if you go to those days, if any effort is being made, some efforts were made by Communist Party, but they did not come anywhere near the organizer because they think this organizer is coming to make our life miserable. We are having this slave life under the backwater king. We are satisfied with this. These people are coming to put us against the, landlord. mischievous people. That was the thinking. So Comrade Krishna Pilla, he wanted them to be organized, and he could see that this young youth, he has the grit, he has the fighting spirit to work in that difficult terrain. Very difficult terrain. It's a risky terrain. This backward can finish off whosoever goes there to organize trade union and all that. So Krishna Pilla tells him, look, it's a very dangerous job. I am entrusting you. He is not asking whether he is willing to leave the. He is just saying, you are going. And 5 rupee. Those days, 5 rupee is not a very small amount. He gave 5 rupee and tells him, go to Kutanad. And he had all the difficulties. Some comrades who might have heard the public speech of Comrade V.S. He said, style. Words should be with voice elongated. It's almost like a cultural performance with lot of body gestures and all that. I have narrated my first experience of having heard him. That was 30 plus 25, 55 years ago, when I was a student, 1970. He also wears only one type of clothes, again like Bhavanda. Juba, very nice juba, like this. Because of the hand gesture and all that, yes. His speech is vocal as well as physical. His body moves. And within 10 minutes time, he would be sweating. And his juba would get meshed with the body. This is my memory when I see VS. This is my memory. In railway station, Maidanam. This is 1/5 of the brigade parade ground. A small place. But I have heard EMS, AKG, Jyoti P. Ramurthy, any big leader coming to Kollam, this is where. So,
even Hare Krishna Konar.
Hare Krishna Konar, I have pointed out, in another context, he has to be mentioned. In the life of VS and in the life of the peasant movement of Kerala, Comrade Hare Krishna Konar had made a very, very significant contribution. That is, I can straight away mention that. That a surplus land struggle, 1969, December 1340, in Aleppi, Arabugad temple ground. Who all participated there? Comrade Hare Krishna Konar already now. State Secretary remembered his role. T. Sundaraya was there, AKG, EMS, Gauriyamma, and relatively young V.S. Sachidanandan was the organizer of that event there. And there was huge struggle in which lot of comrades became martyrs. Neelakanthan and Bhargavi in Kallikad, I remember still. They were shot dead by the government. There was a peculiar alliance existed in Kerala. Some left forces comrades were also there with Congress. They suppressed it. So he was the organizer of that. So VS, his style of physicality and even his vocal pronunciation of words has a lot of physicality. That was to attract this agricultural labor, Khet Mastur, they will not come anywhere near. So because of his way of presentation, from distance they would wait and hear, what is this fellow saying? Is it different? Is it a cultural program? What he is doing? Like that. So he later on, that style he did not abandon, even when he became chief minister. That certain words, very lengthy way, like that. Without going much about that phase, he is single-handedly organized the Khet Masdur of Kutanad And from there it spread to other parts of Kerala. And they have got the spine to stand straight in front of these backwater kings. He gave them confidence. He gave them the understanding that human beings are equal. There is no social discrimination. You should be able to. He was a social reformer also by organizing this 𝒃𝒆 of Kutanad. Lot of clashes also had taken place. So he taught them, the agricultural laborers, that you can stand up and fight with these landlords. And finally, the people, the agricultural labor there, they came under the red flag. So we say, V.S. gave the 𝒃𝒆, the concept of equality, and he gave them the red flag. And with the red flag, people of Kutanad, they became part of the working class movement, progressive movement. There, I am rewinding the brave, risky decision of Comrade Krishna Birla to identify this cadre who is working. If some of us were in the position of Krishna Birla, oh, he's from a poor family, ask him to abandon the job and become a full-timer, it is too risky. It will create problem in his family. And people will blame this Communist Party for okay and made our family life miserable. Some of us will think. We also discuss about full-timers, recruitment of full-timers and things like that. I don't know I can say it now or not. Some won't no, I don't want to be a whole. I will support the party. I will do some work for the party. Anyway, there can be justification for anything and everything. But in the development of the working class movement in Kerala and in the development of a cadre like Comrade Achyutanandan, the role played by Comrade Krishna Birla, who was secretary to even Comrade EMS, the organizational grit is very important. Now, we may not get individual comrades like P. Krishna Birla, AKG, EMS, Jyoti PDG. Because it was a historic epoch which produced these leaders. You see, every time cannot produce that kind of leaders. That's the dialectical understanding of history. So those of us who are now called upon to take up the responsibility of taking this working class movement forward, we have to learn correct lessons from history, these comrades, how they used to deal with situations. So this is one phase of Comrade V.S. Achyutanandan. He lived through decades when our country was in the midst of the freedom struggle. During the same time, there used to be social discrimination and social oppression. So they have to fight for freedom, fight against imperialism, and they have to fight against landlordism also. Then alien ideologies, those who stand for freedom, fight those who are fighting against imperialism, but within the country they want capitalists also to come up. So it was a very, very complex internal situation and international situation. Now I think that another important area of competence of Comrade V.S. We do fight elections, and we are going to encounter elections in Bengal, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Assam, Pondicherry, and all that within less than a year's time. When the 5th Congress of the Undivided Communist Party was held in Amritsar in 1958, we had a EMS-led government in Kerala. 57 EMS government came. Then there was a by-election in present-day Idukki district. That election was very crucial because I think 3 members majority was there. So party Congress is there. VS is a main organizer of the party. Party decided that Comrade VS will not attend Amritsar Party Congress. He will stay in Idukki in the constituency, pyramid, that area, and he will man the election machinery. Now, recently we read in the papers, it was not only CIA which played a part in conspiring and fomenting, those days, Singhur type things in Kerala, for you to understand easily. Singhur, Nandigram type things they organize in different ways. Now, British Secret Service also played a role, which very recently came out in a book. So we have stayed there for the by-election. And he ensured that in the by-election, Communist Party candidate Rosamma Punnus wins. And in his absence, Comrade young VS was elected to the National Council in Amritsar. But I recall this, especially it is very relevant in Bengal context, how Comrade VS used the culture during the by-election campaign. You all know Ilayaraja now, very famous music composer. I think in Bengal also he is famous. Yeah, 6 Symphony. Ilayaraja was campaigning for the Communist Party candidate in this by-election in Delhi. Young Ilayaraja, not only Ilayaraja, his brother Gangai Amaran, both of them were the song troupe under Comrade 𝑺𝒃𝒒𝒏𝒕. Then there is another famous person who was very young those days, who later on became Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, M.G. Ramachandran. He also campaigned for our candidate. So this is the, many people would find it because we have studied only up to 7th standard and VS is viewed as a hardcore, typical way of depicting him. He understood the importance of culture. When he was district secretary of the party in Alleppey, he had the drama troupe there, party drama troupe. This I did not know. I had to go and work as the district secretary in Alleppey during some organizational problem, challenging situation, or a peculiar situation. That time I came to know more about this kind of work that Comrade 𝑺𝒃𝒒𝒏𝒕 used to undertake. So he understood the importance of culture in developing the progressive movement, communist movement. Bengal always knew it. That I know. Now, Comrade Bhimanda has already referred to the fact that Comrade 𝑉𝑠 was the last one to depart us from among those who walked out of the revisionist-dominated National Council at that point of time. Comrade Shankaraya, he also lived over 100 years, like last one to depart us from among the founders of Communist Party of India, Marxist. He always used to fight without any compromise against deviations, whether it is left adventurism, Naxalism, or right revisionism. For the rights of the people, he would lead struggles. Ideologically, he would lead struggles. He never had any doubt about the correctness of the working class movement. We also lived trying times when East Europe collapsed, when Soviet Union disintegrated. Though since we lived through that, we don't perhaps gauge the enormity of all that happened. And there were doubts among many comrades. What is wrong with this? Is it why this could not work in USSR in East Europe? Our party in Madras Party Congress, 1992, came out with the formulation. This was because of the wrong and unscientific application of the scientific theory that the setback had happened. Lenin had actually stated this long ago. It's only the foundation. Marxism-Leninism means the foundation. You have to build the upper stairs. It is our duty. If you wrongly build it, it will collapse. You cannot blame the foundation. Foundation is intact. In his own way, Comrade VS was very, very clear about this. And some comrades would say, he would say in English, I do not know how to translate it. He would say in meetings, the working class movement അടിവെച്ച് മുന്നോട്ട് പോയിക്കൊണ്ടിരിക്കുകയാണ്. Means step by step the working class movement is relentlessly moving forward. Comrades, don't have any doubt about that. So he gives that confidence. And he has that confidence. It's not that he is manufacturing that confidence. This is his understanding, his basic understanding. We cannot, the working class movement cannot go back. Of course, setbacks are there, we know. And his understanding of the correctness of our understanding that the working class has to lead the movement. Some people, especially from middle class, I have also encountered some friends, you keep on repeating this working class, working class. What is this like that? Then, because our generation also learned from the stalwarts, we can ask them. Because I have been taught by these veterans, I ask them, you are wearing this shirt. Who made this shirt? A worker is required to stitch your shirt. That is true. Then, like that, we all understand. Those who sit here, we understand. You see, everything is because of someone working. When we say working class leadership means working class makes everything in society. Goods and services. In service sector also, working class has to perform. Artificial intelligence. It is the development of science and technology. Science and technology is the development of manual labor. If you go back, discovery of wheel, isn't it? So it's a scientific understanding. So some people raise confusion, doubts. VS in his own way. How? He didn't study in any university. He stopped studies at some standard. With humility, we could say, it is wrong to say that VS did not study in any university. He studied in universities, in the university of people, in the university of society he learned. That is how working class leaders develop. But having stated this, we should introspect whether we are correctly studying or not. You cannot just make a general sweeping statement that we learn from people's university. But we have to systematically study, self-study, study schools. Now understand the party state committee has taken some decision about holding party schools. Party Central Committee has also taken a decision. So the working class movement has to not only engage in relentless struggles, relentless study also. In that, Comrade VS himself is a very, very inspiring model. I have scribbled so many points here. But since Comrade Muhammad Salim has to make his own speech, I would now confine myself to my personal memories of having worked with him. When he was Chief Minister, party asked me to be the Minister for Education and Culture. Party at times takes some wrong decisions also. This was one such decision. Anyway, I had to work under Comrade 𝑉𝑺𝒂𝒒 as Chief Minister, those times, the sharpness with which he would follow. Because the education department, we have done various things. For example, we had a scheme of erudite. That was the, title of that scheme. This is inviting Nobel laureates from abroad to spend time in our universities and schools with selected faculty. So he said, this is a very good, because without the support of the Chief Minister and Finance Minister, this cannot. So once we explain this, he would jump on it. Yes, this is. Certain things he said, no. That's not a program. Now we can take. Maybe in future, now don't take. He would say, you should not bite more than what you can chew. I don't know, in Bengali there should be some translation to that. So that way he was balanced. Even if the program is very imaginative and inspiring, if the finance minister would find it difficult to provide funds like that, he was grounded with his practical experience. The first center for the study of space science, in NASA they have, in France they have. In the entire world, there are 5 or 6 centers where focused, specific space science study and research is undertaken. One such is in Kerala. We established during 𝑉𝒂𝒒's time. This was possible because Chief Minister stood with the department, fully realizing the importance of this. Today, it is very important to also mention about his commitment to free software in IT. In fact, when he was leader of the opposition, the then UDF government wanted to give entire state of Kerala and education sector to Microsoft. Microsoft came with a very, very quote-unquote attractive proposal. They have such proposal. Then we discussed, of course. Party also played a role. Then VS jumped on it as leader of the opposition. He declared in the assembly as leader of the opposition, we will not accept leaving the entire state into the hands of the Microsoft monopoly. There is this free software available that is practical. Because of our intervention, and VS as the leader of the opposition fought against Microsoft taking away the entire state of Kerala, offices, schools, colleges. UDF could not implement it. And 2006-2011, LDF government started implementing the free software system in school education, IT-enabled education, linking up all departments. And we got international recognition also for that. This is his, commitment to our theoretical positions. He proved that it is practical. Finally, in defense of women, he always fought. In defense of environment, he always fought. In defense of the downtrodden, he always fought. With limited formal education, through self-study, through study from the university of people, he realized the importance of protection of environment. And it is widely accepted. And some people discuss this with surprise. How is it that Comrade 𝑉𝒂𝒒 is so fond of taking up environmental problems? So, Comrade VS can be, without any doubt, described as an extraordinary working class leader. Atyasadharana Netav. Extraordinary working class leader. Even in hospital, his last days, he was struggling. And we were thinking, no. From every struggle, somehow he will come up. So maybe miracles can happen, but he had a very long life. It's a life of struggle, is life of lessons for future movement. Let us pay our revolutionary tributes to this great working class leader, Lal Salam, Comrade PS.